All right, usually I make real estate related videos talking to real estate professionals. But today I wanted to be a little bit more transparent in an effort to help. So anything I ever do like this, you know, I don't make a nickel from Facebook, TikTok, Instagram. It comes from a genuine place of trying to help others. And recently I have suffered a crisis of confidence. Crisis might be a strong word, but definitely a confidence shakeup. And that comes with anything, right? Like nobody is immune to this. As much work as I've done on myself and all the 75 hard programs I've run myself through, um, nobody is immune to these feelings. So I'm only sharing this in a transparent way that I am because in years past, um, I would have a confidence shake and it might last for a really long time. It could last weeks, it could last months, and it definitely reflected in my real estate career because I've had really high highs and low lows where it's like months of you know not lack, but yeah, lack of follow through, lack of belief in myself, and that translated into how I showed up um, to everyone in my life. So over the past few years, done a lot of like deep work on myself with self development, 75 hard programs, and all that, which I highly recommend. That I know you guys are probably tired of hearing me talk about it, but it really did change my life forever. But it is just like I talk about with anything like confidence, self esteem, um, all of those positive attributes. It is perishable. Like it's not a one and done. Like it's something you have to constantly work on. So let's get into my most recent shakeup of confidence. I just made a shift in my business. I had to change brokerages from one to another. It came with a lot of pain, a lot of grief from relationships that um, I walked away from. Which anybody who knows me and really knows me knows that I'm still here, and my friendship and my love is not contingent on where I'm working. So just wanted to get that out the way. But for sure, like a confidence shakeup came with that because you know you think uh, you think these relationships will translate into people, not blind loyalty or following in a sense like that, but just you know it's been surprising the relationships I thought I had um, not really being there. But I had a great talk with one of the people that helps me out a lot, Angela Kristen Taylor. If you're watching this, thank you so much. Um, and I realized that it's not. I don't show up for people, and I don't um, help them with a expectation of what is coming back my way. It really comes from a genuine place of just love and care, and you know, doesn't make it any easier, but you most certainly um, have to process and deal with those emotions. And that's where uh, I had lacked the coping mechanisms to do that in years past, and I would sit and stagnate for quite some time in any of those feelings that I previously mentioned. Um, but here's the truth: confidence, self-esteem, with the word self in there, when done properly, means that nobody or no one or anything can take that away from you. You might have a momentary shift or a time where you doubt yourself, which is totally normal. You just can't let that turn into something bigger. You can't let that become um, something that's unmanageable or something that really knocks you off course. What you have to do is remind yourself of what you've been through, who you are, what you bring to the table, and it's a powerful exercise when done properly. And I would encourage you all to do the same. It could be journaling. It could be talking through ChatGPT, which is something that I did last night actually. And I had a few revelations in there. And this is going to get super transparent. Okay. I'm really going to be telling you some stuff about myself. When I'm in these moments of, when my confidence is shaken, um, you always hear like the dark voice, right? For lack of a better term, the one that's feeding into your feelings, the one that's telling you and whispering doubt into your ear or into your subconscious. So you have to block that off. I know it sounds difficult, but you really have to pay attention to what's real and what's not. And that's where like a journaling exercise or going through chat gpt and talking through stuff will really help you out, because here's what I discovered. When I'm in my lack of confidence, okay, as a broker, as a manager, I always go back to my real estate career, because I feel like I could have done so much more. I could have helped so many more people, but I went through so many seasons of, first of all, off the bat, hate to, it's going to sound like an excuse, but it's just something I had to manage. I've dealt with depression and anxiety for as far back as I can remember. And, in the past, I would let that really, I'd let that run stuff. Like I would let that be the determining factor on what I did and what I didn't do. But I still managed to be consistent um, throughout that. Like even in my worst times, you know, sell 20 plus houses a year, which is better. It's way above the national average, but not competing with you rock stars out there, which I have a lot of admiration and respect for. But that's the whispering, that's the doubt that starts creeping in. Is, oh, you haven't sold enough homes. Like you don't know what you're talking about. You're a fraud. You're an imposter. And as I'm going through all this stuff, I did this powerful exercise on ChatGPT last night, and I just said all those things. It asked me, when you're in a moment of self-doubt or lacking confidence, what is the stuff that you hear? And be honest. So I just dumped everything, all the negative thoughts that start brewing in my head. I just dumped all of it. And it gave me an interesting statistic back. It gave me obviously a lot of positive feedback and helped me um, sift through all the noise and get to what's real. And what's real is I've always led with my heart and led with passion for helping others, or whether I had something to gain from it or not. As a matter of fact, like one of my first coaching and training opportunities, I actually didn't get paid for that for months until I got put on payroll where I was at. And so there's that. Like I have a proven track record of helping and mentoring agents when there was nothing in it for me. Secondarily, a stat that was very interesting to me is, even though I feel like I should have done more in my real estate career, and I most certainly could have or should have, um, if I was, I guess this is a better way to look at it. If I was more greedy and did not mentor or train or help or run sales meetings, I most certainly could have sold more homes for myself. But I have to think of all the agents I might have impacted in some positive way, and all the transactions that they were able to do as a result of my help or my mentorship or my training. Follow up to that was, when I mentioned how many homes I've sold in my career, ChatGPT gave me an interesting stat back, and it lit a fire inside of me that is going to be impossible to put out. It said at the amount of homes I've sold in my career, even though it's not a super high number. So you rock star producers out there, mazel tov, respect. Um, you know, always love and respect, admiration, because it's very difficult to achieve that in your career, and I applaud you for it. Um, but even with my numbers, ChatGPT told me based on the stats that I have sold more homes than 90% of the agents who get licensed ever will. So when I heard that stat, it immediately erased my imposter syndrome, my you're not enough, you haven't done enough in your career. It really helped me. And if I would have not taken the time to be transparent and vulnerable and do that exercise, I would probably still have that somewhere in the back of my mind. Like, you haven't done enough. You haven't sold enough homes to know what you're talking about. Like, it's so wild because in my best year, it was like over 30 units that I sold. So how could somebody achieve that and still feel the way they do? And I'm also listening to an Audible book. It's called Undeniable by Cameron Haynes. As much stuff as he's achieved in his career, he feels like an imposter sometimes. He was sharing how he felt on the Joe Rogan podcast, and Joe Rogan admitted that he suffers and deals with the same thing. So, quite often, our lack of confidence could be an imposter syndrome that we feel like we have. Like, you don't know enough, you haven't done enough, you're not enough. Um, which I was texting my friend about this. Like, the human brain is such a magnificent thing, and it's also incredibly not in our best interest at times, which is so, I still can't wrap my flawed brain around the fact that we can do all these positive things and we can and make this impact on people or on our family or our friends and still get whispers that you're not enough. Um, so, you know, I just wanted to share this with you and be open and transparent and honest because I feel like everybody needs to hear this. I feel like everybody might deal with some form of imposter syndrome, whether in real estate or any industry that you're in. Um, you know, what's so crazy is like we grow up, but we still feel the same. So we're 40. I'm 43 years old, right? But I still feel the same way I felt when I was a child, and I'm still the same person. So no wonder I feel like I shouldn't be walking around in this big boy job doing these big boy things because in my heart I'm still the same kid I've always been. Um, and I think we all need to give ourselves grace. You're still that little boy you've always been. You're still that little girl you've always been. And nothing can change that. The only thing we can do is be mindful of the stuff that we're telling ourselves, reinforce our positive attributes. If there are negative attributes or negative things about yourself and it's something you feel like you can honestly work on and there's some truth there, then you pluck that out, you work on that, and you discard the rest. All the stuff that's noise, all the whispers in your ear that you're not enough, you're not doing enough, you haven't been enough. There might be some truth in some of that, but the rest, is, if it's not serving you, some people can use it as fuel and motivation, okay? Like the Michael Jordans, okay? If you're not Michael Jordan, it is going to make you depressed, it is going to make you anxious, and it is going to make you form habits that are not in your best interest and not in alignment with the person you're trying to become. So if you cannot use it as fuel, you need to pluck the truth out of there, get rid of the rest, and develop a game plan on what you're going to do moving forward. And be patient with yourself. Give yourself grace. Do not beat yourself up for mistakes that you've made in the past or things you could have done differently or things or like let's say today you don't really knock it out of the park and do all the stuff you were supposed to do. Ruminating or beating yourself up for that is something I've done at nauseum, and I'm going to save you a lot of time and end the suspense for you. It is a zero sum game. There's no win. There's no, if anything, it is to your detriment. So have that confidence, okay? And if you don't have the confidence, you need to do something to build it or maintain it or keep it up. If you're going to feel negative feelings, it's okay. Just don't stay there. Get what you need to get out of it. Develop a game plan, do something. Do anything. Like the other day I was feeling kind of rough or in my own head. I literally just got up and took a shower because I needed to shower anyway. I took a hot shower, shaved my neck, trimmed up my beard, my mustache, um, put on a nicer clothes than I would usually wear when I'm at the house, spritzed a little cologne on myself, and it made all the difference in the world. It's just about changing your state and being mindful of thoughts that come into your head, what you're going to do to process them, and get the hell out of there. I mean, like get out because it's just not healthy to stay there. So I just wanted to share that. I don't know why I felt compared to share all that with some of my friends, family, and complete strangers that might be watching this. But I just feel like it's important because I think it's something we all quietly struggle with, and it just needs to be talked about. Um, So that's it. I hope this helps somebody. Um, it's most certainly it's lit the fire back in me that that I feel like has been not out, but just wasn't roaring full go. It's flashes. It gets hot, then it cools, and you have doubt, and stuff creeps in your head, and just all the noise that comes with life. Like it's so much, right? You got your family, your job, coworkers, so many things that we have to deal with on a daily basis. And a good portion of people, I feel like, neglect themselves. They neglect their health, they neglect their mental well-being, or they might be on autopilot and not even paying attention to the fact that these negative thoughts are driving you or have as much of an influence in your life as you think they do. I know it's like a cliche term that mindfulness is key, but it really is. It really is about paying attention to your state. Like even I'll give you an example. Like 3 nights ago, I was watching something and something just came over. I thought about something and it changed everything entirely. And I was like, okay, what was that? What just happened? I was just okay. Now I'm kind of veering this way. What's going on? Figured out what it was, and that was the night I got up, showered, shaved, and cooked dinner for the family, and just turned my whole day around. Complete 180. So if you're suffering from a lack of confidence and a lack of self-esteem, and you're not putting in the work, that's different. That's different. You have to have this is something I got from a podcast. This is an original thought, but you have to have a stack of undeniable proof that you are who you say you are. So if you don't have that body of work, that's step one. Okay, you do have to do something. You can't have like a false sense of confidence. You can, but that turns into arrogance and that turns into other stuff, and people can see right through that. You have to have a real base or foundation to come from, and that's as simple as just putting in the work. So if for you, if that's like, hey, look, my health is my, I'm not the way I want to be. It's just getting out and walking, going to the gym, but doing that on a consistent basis. If it's work related, you need to handle your business at work and do that on a regular basis and start to build a foundation for yourself. And then once that foundation is laid, then you have a body of work to look back on and say, hey, look, I am this person. So that's step one if you don't have that base or foundation to operate off of. But step two is once you have it, how to maintain it. And that's exactly what this talk is about. Remembering who you are when you have your moments where your confidence is shaken and you don't feel like like you did, like you. It's all about. I'm not going to put a curse word in here, but it's all about remembering who you are. You know what I mean? And you have to have that, not in an arrogance or egotistical way, but just in a very firm belief in yourself. Might take time. I know that's easier said than done for people because most certainly for years I did not have that. I thought I had it and I tried my best to operate as though I did and it worked temporarily, but nothing changed for me until about 4 years ago. Permanently changed, or not permanently, but semi-permanent shift in the person or the man I've become based off of decisions I made 4 years ago, which completely changed my life. One of which is something I don't talk about as much as I should, but sobriety. Like I was never terrible with with it, but it most certainly I used it as to avoid my problems, to avoid the stress, to take the edge off of the real estate. Right? It's especially like here in New Orleans, like it's such a part of our culture, and and it's just like you know it it, it's just something that you have to monitor for yourself. It's something that can I'm not no, it can't be great. There's no positive things with that. I'm sorry. Like I'm on the other side of it and looking back, and there's uh yeah, it's fuel for a good time sometimes, but I don't know. For me, the not feeling 100% days afterwards was just too much. And if you already have a tendency to have depressive or anxious thoughts, that is just like not even gasoline, whatever the next thing up from gasoline would be. That's what that is. So yeah, I mean, just making those positive changes in my life, devoting my life back to the church and to God and to Jesus Christ, was a huge impact on me. I kind of grew up in the church and didn't really, um, you know, kind of strayed, not in a terrible way, but just I don't know, just going through the motions, right? I was a Christian on Sundays from 9:30 to 11, and the rest of the week I just carried on as though it's whatever. Um, so a lot of positive changes I've made over the years that gives me the foundation I can now stand upon and have the courage to tell you in this video that you are enough. You always have been. If you feel like you're not, or if it feels like a lie to you, it could mean that you haven't done the work necessary to build that up. But what's the key takeaway from this, and the best news I could possibly share with you, is if you're like, hey, Speedy, look, I hear you, all that stuff's great, but I don't have even a base level of confidence or self discipline. You can change that like today, like this week. Like you don't have to wait till Monday rolls around, like, oh, I'm gonna start Monday, I'm gonna do this weekend, but next Monday I'm on it. That's that's uh that's that's a cliche too. New year, new me. I'm gonna start Monday, I'll start next month. It's garbage. It's garbage. And I think you know that. But I digress. This video has shifted a few different times on me, and I didn't count on it being all this. Um, I just wanted to share what I've been through recently and how I got my firm foundation back like relatively quickly. And you know, that's it. It's just really powerful when you can when you have the bravery to face those invasive thoughts. People run from it, or we self medicate to get away from it, or we check out. But when you stop dead in your tracks, turn around, stare in the eye, and say, okay, tell me, give me everything you got. Like, what's up? Come on. And you can take that and use it as fuel, or discard what you need out of it, pluck the truth out, and work on that. That's the key to everything. And when I say everything, I mean everything. When you get yourself figured out, or if you're like, just get passionate about being more purposeful with your life, your self-talk, when you can master that, you'd become what my friend and coach Eric would say, you'd become unstoppable. It doesn't mean you're not going to have temporary setbacks or feelings or emotions. We're human. Unfortunately, this is a very human ride. It's a very human experience. But what you do have is the ability to fix yourself. That's already inside of you. It's already inside of all of us. A few of us are gifted more genetically, like LeBron James and all the like the superstar athletes, but for the most part, we all roll off the assembly line with the same software. So we're all capable. We already have what we need inside of us. We just have to be brave enough to face that and do the work towards becoming what we undoubtedly are meant to be. And I feel like it's not only our job, but I think it's our obligation to become the best possible version of ourselves. And I want to backtrack on that too, because I'm not talking about 14-hour work days and grinding yourself into the pavement. And when you hear like the stereotypical grind, successful, be like the most optimal person you can possibly be, you have to allow yourself some grace there too, because it's there's this is something most people aren't going to want to hear. Like there has to be some balance, at least for me. I can't speak for everyone, but I have to have some balance between the grind, motivational, go get it guy, and the guy that sometimes just needs to sit down and watch a show and unwind for a little bit before bed. So, anyway, I hope this talk has done something. I hope it's hit somebody, impacted someone. It's really kind of, I guess, like more therapy for me, but I hope it's resonated or helped anyone, literally anyone. I don't even know if I'm going to post this. We'll see. If you're hearing this part of the video where I'm not sure if I'm going to post it or not, then that means I posted it and I was brave enough to just put it out there. So I don't know. That's a challenge now I have to face with whether or not I'm going to post this. Because I was pretty raw in a lot of this. So that's it.